Yes, children. So finally, we understood that all the company officials were not like Robert Clive. Okay, the many of them were honest and many of them were, the good people. Okay, many of them were died early. They didn't complete their tenure or whatever the time period they came due to the disease, because we know that earlier also like a pandemic diseases were there like plague and all, the diseases, and even with the wars many of them were died, and they were not the corrupted and dishonest like a Robert Clive. Okay, fine. See, many of them came from humble backgrounds, and their uppermost desire was to earn enough in India, return to Britain, and lead a comfortable life. So hope you guys understood, right? Many of the company officials, their idea was just to earn better from India, earn better in India, and take that, all the resources or wealth from India to Britain and lead their comfortable life. That was the main idea of the many of the company officials. Okay, so due to that, see, those who managed to return with wealth, led flashy lives, and flaunted their riches, they were called nabobs, and anglicized version of the Indian word nawab. So now you people guys, you guys understood what is the clear meaning of nabobs. Okay, it is one of the anglicized version of a nawab. Okay, so we here they the British officials were not only dreaming to lead their life like a nawabs. They were their main idea was to earn more in India and carry that wealth to return to Britain and lead their comfortable life. Okay, so finally the people who those who managed to return with the wealth from India, and they led their flashy and flaunted their riches. So they were leading the comfortable and the luxurious life. So those people were considered as a nabobs. Hope you guys understood, right? Okay, children. Yes. They were often seen as upstarts and social climbers in British society, and were the ridiculed or made fun of in plays and cartoons. So those people, the nabobs, they were they seen like a upstarts and the social climbers in the British society. So they were seeing like a somewhat different. Okay, they were ridiculous and made fun, even they were made fun of even in the cartoons and even in some dramas. Okay, yes. So finally you people understood about nabobs. Who has called as a nabobs? So the company officials who had idea of leading their life like a nawabs, and the many humble officials, the company officials, their main idea is to earn more or earn enough in India and carry that wealth or the resources from India to Britain, and they wanted to lead their comfortable life. You people understood about nabobs. And next we can see about company rule expands. So this is very much important concept. Okay, so we have seen that how the the British people slowly they started to take the power, the political power, along with the economical power within the India. Okay, that will be seeing today. See, if we analyze the process of annexation of Indian states by the East India Company from 1757 to 1857, certain key aspects emerge. So here, how these people started to take the control over the Indian places or Indian states. Okay, so from almost from the 1757 to 1780, 1857, this aspects, this key aspects were emerged more. Okay, how they started to take control over our Indian states. Okay, see here. The company rarely launched a direct military attack on an unknown territory. So as we know that what is the main idea of the British people, children, earlier? To expand the trade. The expansion of trade was their main idea. And even in the Battle of Plassey, what happened? They immediately, they didn't start to military attack on the nawabs. What they did, they were very cunning and they had a treaty with the Mir Jafar. Yes or no? So same way here, what they are telling, the company, the East India Company will never directly attack on the military attack on the territories. Okay, they'll not directly attack. But what they were doing then, instead it used a variety of political, economic and diplomatic methods to extend its influence before annexing an Indian kingdom. So what they were doing, children, they were not directly attacking the territories, they were using the different methods, that is variety of political tricks. That means by having a treaty with other officials or something like they were bribing the people, and some economic the treaties they used to have diplomatically, they used to tackle the people, and finally they tried to extend their influence before they take the control over the Indian kingdom. Okay, hope you guys understood, right? They were not doing the direct military attacks on the kingdoms or the territories. They were doing some the diplomatic activities, the variety of political activities, economic activities. They tried to tackle the kings, and finally they used to take the annexing, that is the control over the Indian kingdoms. Okay, yes. See, after the Battle of Buxar in the year of 1764, the company appointed residents in Indian states. So finally, what the company did last time after the Battle of the Plassey, we have seen they appointed the Diwanis by the Mughal emperors. So they were helping the company, but now they appointed the residents in Indian states. So finally, what those residents were doing, children? See here. They were political or commercial agents, and their job was to serve and further the interests of the company. So what was the main role of this residents? They were like a political or commercial agents to the company. Okay, so by that what happened, their job was to serve and to serve the company. Only their job was to serve the company and the company interest. Okay, hope you guys understood, right? What was the role of this residents? They were like a political and commercial agents. They were there to serve the company's interest. Okay, yes. Through the residents, the company officials began interfering in the internal affairs of Indian states. So by the help of this residents, this agents, the commercial agents or the political agents, through that agents, the company officials like the generals and all began to interfere in the internal affairs of the Indian states. That means in the political activities, that within internal affairs of our the Indian states, they started to interfere, they started to involve in this kind of activities. Okay, yes. They tried to decide who was to be the successor to the throne and who was to be appointed in the administrative post. So finally you people understand, not only they were started to interfere in the internal affairs, they started to take the decision, the major decisions. How? After the successor, the throne, who has to become the next king, who has to be appointed as an administrative post, all those decisions were also started to taken by the British officials. Okay, fine children. See, sometimes the company forced the states into a subsidiary alliance. Guys, this is very much important. What do you mean by subsidiary alliance? You have to take care. Okay, see, subsidiary alliance, they force the many states to have the company with states to have the subsidiary alliance with the company. That means, according to the subsidiary alliance, the terms of this alliance is the Indian rulers were not allowed to have their independent armed forces. So hope you guys are understanding, right? The subsidiary alliance means our Indian rulers, the kings or the nawabs, they were not allowed to have their own independent armed forces, their militaries. Okay, they were not able to have their own independent armed forces. Instead of that, they have to merge with the company. So the company will be having the army. So if any necessary for the kings, they will supplement, they will send that the army to the kings. For that maintenance of the army, the kings, the rulers, the Indian rulers has to pay some amount to the company. That was the main idea of this subsidiary alliance. Hope you guys are understanding, right? Subsidiary alliance, the main idea was the Indian rulers should not have their own other independent armed forces. Okay, see here, they were to be protected by the company. So that means they will be protected by the company, but had to pay for the subsidiary forces that the company was supposed to maintain for the purpose of this protection. So finally, hope you guys understood. So what the company was doing, rulers were not allowed to have their own independent army, but the company will be having the army, and if any necessary, they will send the army. For that the rulers, the Indian rulers has to pay for that. Okay, so by that they will maintain the army. Yes, so if the Indian rulers fail to make the payment, then the part of their territory was taken away as penalty. Hope you guys are understanding, right? So this is a rule made by the company, subsidiary alliance. That means the no ruler should have the army. The army will be provided by the company and they have to pay for the maintenance. So if a ruler is failed to make that payment, then it is considered as a failure in the payment. So whoever the ruler is failed to pay that amount, they have to pay penalty. That is fine. What is the penalty they have to do? They have to give the part of their territory. Okay, the part of their territory they have to give as a penalty to the company. Okay, fine children. See, the example also they have given. For example, when Richard, the Wellesley was Governor General, the Nawab of Awadh was forced to give over half of his territory to the company in the year of 1801 as he failed to pay for the subsidiary forces. So hope you guys understood, right? Not only this, even in the Tanjavur and the Mysore, Hyderabad, Awadh, all these places has been taken over by the company for the failure of this subsidiary forces payment. Okay, see here, Hyderabad was also forced to cede territories on the similar grounds because the failure of payment in the subsidiary forces. Okay, hope you guys understood, right? If any doubts, guys, please let me know. Okay, explain about the subsidiary alliance. You have to explain what do you mean by subsidiary the alliance, and then who were called nabobs. You have to explain in detail about the nabobs. Okay, and then what was the effect to Indian rulers for failure in making subsidiary payments to the company? What they have to do? They have to give half of their the part of their territory as a penalty to the company. That is one thing. Okay, hope you guys understood, right? In today's class you people understood about nabobs, and then you people understood about subsidiary alliance, and then you people understood about if the subsidiary the payment not done, what is the effect. Okay, if any doubts, you just let me know children. I'm there to help you out. Thank you all.